Are on the line as Starke City Commissioners are weeks away from finalizing their budget for the fiscal year.
But nothing is for certain even after tonight's City Commission meeting. TV20's Cameron Lund spoke to residents upset with how the unofficial budget could impact public safety.
Another Starke City Commission meeting has come and gone, and as the city's budget for the next fiscal year stands, this fire department will be reduced in half per shift size. Just driving down Highway 301 through Starke, you can see these signs on the road reading "No fire cuts." There was nothing on tonight's budget about the topic, but many residents still wanted to make their point clear to city leadership.
If you propose to put 2 men on a shift or even limited shift, is it your family that's not going to have someone? Could be.
In total, 7 people spoke about not wanting the emergency service reduced. City leaders point to inflation and other city problems that need addressing, along with the fact county fire services could make up the difference.
We have aging fleets. We have an aging infrastructure. We have a lot of stuff here that if we keep transferring money out, we could have a water main break tonight and have to spend $250,000.
With those problems publicized, residents think their officials could take a cut instead of employees.
And why don't you serve free of charge if this city is in such bad shape?
City officials said there would not be layoffs or pink slips, but firefighters and the chief still showed up at the meeting, concerned about their livelihoods. The final budget must be submitted by September 17th. Reporting in Starke, Cameron Lund, TV20 News.